Hi everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. It's the 25th of the month, and that means it's time for another Crafty Elves Countdown to Christmas collab. In today's video, I'm going to be using the all bundled up, kit from Queen & Company, but I'm using some papers from Lawn Fun. So I think this is their newest nitpicky, and I'm going to be pulling some papers from this. So I'm going to have that on in the background, and then I'm going to talk to you about what's been going on. So if you missed it, my husband and I tested positive for COVID. He tested positive on the 27th of February, and I tested positive on March 1st. I'm doing this voiceover on the 24th. I actually filmed this video today, and it's only been within the last couple of days that I have felt better. I still have been struggling with it. Rob is about 95% better. He still struggles with the fatigue. I don't know that anybody has mentioned just how tiring having COVID is. Like, it's beyond anything I've ever experienced before. So I haven't been in a position where I could craft. Like, I wasn't doing anything, reading, watching, like I haven't been watching YouTube videos. I've barely been able to read. I've been having trouble concentrating, like all these different things. And then, was that last week? I think it was last week. Last weekend, I thought I was going to have to go to the emergency room because I was having a lot of chest pain. Now, not heart chest pain, but like chest pain. And if you've been with me forever, you may remember, like in 2014, 2015, I had developed allergy-induced asthma, but I hadn't had any issues with it since 2017. In fact, I had an inhaler on the countertop, and Rob's like, this expired in 2017. And I'm like, that's because I've been fine. Well, I was having an asthma attack, so I'm back on an inhaler. I've been doing breathing treatments I haven't had to do them in the last couple of days. I will say that it's been super humid here in Dallas. And the last couple of days, when the humidity is bad, I noticed that my asthma is not great. So I've been struggling with that. You may hear me go a lot during this video because talking has been a struggle. Like, everything has been a struggle. I've been on the struggle bus. So yeah. So back to the card, I really wanted to use the nesting circle dies, half circle dies from Hello Bluebird. I've had them for over a year and never got a chance to use them. And I had the idea to do a white with a colored mat. So that's what I'm doing here. They're nested. So I picked two sizes that I thought would work. And I am making cards using the hats. And I thought the knit pattern in that Lawn Fun paper would make a really fun hat. And I think it did. So I am bringing in the card mat die set from Stamp Anything. There is a stitched scallop rectangle and then a regular stitched rectangle. So for the pattern paper, I used the scalloped rectangle, and for the solid paper, I used the just the stitch rectangle. So I am using cardstock from My Favorite Things. I was a little irritated with my last order from them. They had a 30% off sale, and I was out of some paper. And when I got it, they have gone down to 10 sheets a package, and it was like $4.50, I think, at 30% off. And I was just told Rob, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to afford this paper. I'm gonna have to find somebody else. So I may have to end up going back to Stampin' Up. You guys know that I am no longer a demonstrator, and I'm trying not to support MLMs, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I am using some of the card bases that I'd picked up around the holidays. These are standard size A2 size cards, note cards that I just got off Amazon. And I am using Tombow Mono liquid glue to adhere it. So my thought for these cards was that I wanted to use the nested circle dies again that I haven't used in forever. And I wanted to use ribbon. I used to love using ribbon when I was with Stampin' Up, and I haven't been using it. And I think a lot of that is because, number one, people don't use ribbon anymore for the most part. And number two, it's not in my face in a catalog every time, you know what I mean? But I had picked up a package of satin ribbon around the holidays, and I'm finally getting a chance to use some of it. Now, the coral and the aqua I already had, but again, that came off Amazon as well. If I am impatient and need something like this ASAP, I will order it off Amazon. If not, I'll pick it up off AliExpress because it's just so much less expensive. Now, I don't condone buying counterfeit supplies on AliExpress, but I do pick up like ribbon and shaker stuff, etc. So AliExpress functions kind of like Amazon, actually, where they are the platform and then you have different stores, etc. So I adhered the card layer with the ribbon down with liquid glue. I probably should have popped it up and then kept these circles flat because of the ribbon. And I didn't do that. They're down, but in hindsight, I probably should have. And I accidentally cut these rectangles crooked. So I ended up cutting off the right side of all three of them. And that gave these circles a flat edge to hang on, butt up against. And I actually like that look better. So when making the shakers, I hadn't used this design yet. So I had the three ones from Queen & Company. I've mentioned before that I always suggest that you buy the outline dies for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you use up your acetate, if you use up your acetate, you can use the outline die to die cut your acetate. And you can use it to die cut a piece of paper to adhere your shaker to. And so that's what I've done here. And I decided to use just regular clear seed beads in the shaker element rather than something with a pattern or a sequence, etc. Only because number one, there's not much room. And number two, there's so much pattern that I didn't want to have anything else that might compete. So this is double-sided adhesive. So on one side adhered to the paper and the other side I am adhering the acetate. Now I've had this kit for probably 3 or 4 years, I think. And one thing that happened when I took the foam off, the backer of the foam off, it immediately started changing color, like oxidizing, turning brown. So weird. So I am just using liquid glue to adhere the stitched elements. So for most of the Queen & Co. dies, most of them are stitched. So they have a couple of endless shaker kits that I would have my eye on, but I am trying not to buy anything unless I just absolutely need it. I will be having a destash later down the road. There was actually a thread in the Queen & Co. group about people like me who sell, periodically. And the reason why I do is so I can bring new stuff in. And sometimes it's because I want getting these new cabinets and stuff like that. And plus, if I haven't used something in over a year, it doesn't make sense that it's just here collecting dust when one of you may want to use it. So I decided to go ahead and adhere these flat with some liquid glue. Initially, I thought I was going to put on a sentiment, but you guys know sometimes I just prefer not to do that. And with these cards especially, these would be perfect for winter. They would be perfect as a Christmas card or a Happy Holidays card. They would be perfect. They're just a note card, just throwing a card in the mail, or if someone has a winter birthday. So I'm glad that I left this sentiment off. So I cut up some of the strips from the leftovers, and I am adhering those on double-sided adhesive. I'm going to bring in this die, and this is part of that card mat die from Stamp Anything. I decided to bring in some stars because I felt like I wanted something else, but I didn't want to put a sentiment. So I just added the adhesive tape. That way they already have adhesive on the back, so I don't have to worry about adding liquid glue, etc. Initially, I thought maybe I would just use the outline, but I decided to go ahead and go with the stars. And there are 5 stars, so you guys know I like to work in odd numbers, and so I did that. And they turned out so cool. These cards turned out so cute. So speaking of cards, I had mentioned that I was closing down my Etsy shop, and instead of making a rash decision about it, I went ahead and just put it on vacation mode, and I've been shopping around for other platforms. Unfortunately, for someone like me who isn't, selling a lot of stuff very often, it doesn't make sense to get like Shopify or anything like that. So I probably will keep the Etsy shop, and I may do things quarterly. You guys will have to let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. So I thought I would be able to get away with just putting a pom-pom on the top of the hats, but no. So I brought in, they have a circle die, and I'm just adhering all the paper together to run all three of those through at the exact same time. And I'm going to adhere those down with a glue dot, and then I'm going to bring in some liquid glue for the white pom-poms that you see at the top right of the corner, at the corner. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of that. My hope is to get back into making videos, and that, like I said, that has been a struggle, especially this month. And I had so many plans, like my friend Michael and I are, I'm trying to get this equality collab getting up and going again. And every time we go to do something, I just get sick or something happens. So I don't know, but yeah. So I am going to get those adhered down, and then we'll bring in the ribbon. So these cards, again, are simple and quick to make. And if you don't have this half circle die, you could just adhere a whole circle and then cut it down. It's completely up to you. But I think this is such a fun layout. And I like coloring, but I also like having cards like this that don't have, these were still a lot of effort. I made 3 cards and it took me about an hour and a half. Some of that was because I was listening to the Murdoch Murders podcast. Have you guys been keeping up with that story? Holy Moses. Anywho, so it took me a while to get these done, but it wasn't like I was coloring, etc. It was just a lot of die cutting. But yeah, I love these cards, and I love that they don't have a sentiment, and I think these are going to be really, really cute. You can definitely see it in the pictures. So I decided to go ahead and add bows to these. So when it's a satin ribbon, in order to prevent it from fraying, you need to burn the end with a lighter. So I brought in, after I tied all my bows, I brought in one of those big, what are they called? Like handheld lighters. You know what I'm talking about. You'll see in just a second, to burn the ends. And I've also, lately, if I use ribbon and I adhere bows, rather than using glue dots, I actually like to use score tape. I just feel like it gives me a better adhesion, and I can make it a little bit bigger. So those are my 2 tips if you're going to be using it. And here is the lighter that I'm talking about. And you only need to do it for like a second. If you do it any longer than that, you'll probably end up singeing it. So just be cognizant, but that will keep it from fraying. So here's the score tape or tearing tape, whatever you want to call it. And I'm using that to adhere the bows, and I think that works the best. So after I've done this, I'm going to bring in some glitter per usual, and we'll call this good. So I will have Michael, Liz, and Deborah's information linked in the description box down below. Don't forget to go check them out and subscribe to their social media, follow them, etc. Be sure that you are subscribed here. Again, I'm hoping I can get back to at least posting once a week. We shall see. Again, COVID is just beyond. Like it's a tired I never knew. Like today I woke up at 4:30, and it ended up taking like a 4-hour nap midday. So it's just been rough. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much to those of you who've reached out and been like, Misty, where are you? What is going on? I appreciate you. But anywho, I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. I love your faces, and I will see you when I can see you. Bye for now.